welcome to A Godly Home. So for supper tonight, I'm making one of my husband's favorites, macaroni and cheese with hamburger in it. And I think we will have some frozen broccoli and some oven toast. So we know from my $1 or less grocery videos that the store brand macaroni and cheese is 50-some cents a box. I did not happen to have any of that on hand because my son is allergic to it. So I'm going to be using the Kraft macaroni and cheese tonight. And I wanted to point out something with this Kraft macaroni and cheese. I just noticed this. It now says no artificial preservatives, no artificial flavors, no artificial dyes. And I know that this has been a problem that people have been having with the box macaroni and cheese. They're scared of the preservatives and artificial flavors and dyes and all of that. And that is no longer the case with this one. And I paid under $5 for 5 boxes of this. It was $4 something. Now, if you still are scared of that and you want to make this recipe, then get yourself 2 boxes of the Annie's macaroni and cheese. I don't normally shop at Super Walmart, but I know a lot of you guys do. And I was in the city last week, so I ran in. These were $1 a box at Super Walmart, which is crazy, like for organic pasta. So this still can be a very frugal meal. You just might have to have a coupon or wait until you can get into Super Walmart or sale or something and stock up on these when you do. So these ones say, obviously organic pasta, but no artificial flavors or synthetic colors. And then it says cheese from cows not treated with RBST. And that is really important for some people. My son is actually allergic to any dairy where cows have been treated with RBST. His throat closes off. So that's really awesome. But then again, I want to mention that even though he has that problem and he can't eat the store brand for that reason, he has had no problem eating this Kraft one. And I'm not saying that they don't use RBST. I have no idea if they do or don't on the cows that are used for this product. I'm just saying for some reason he's been able to eat this. All right, so that is all the information that I have before we get started on the video. Okay, I have the water on to boil, and I have a ½ pound of hamburger in the frying pan on medium. And to this hamburger, I am going to add some seasoning salt and a little bit of pepper. Dollar Tree seasoning salt. Okay, and the pepper. I am going to be using 3 boxes of the macaroni and cheese because my husband likes this like a lot, and he's going to want leftovers. Okay, while this is cooking, we can go ahead and get our broccoli started. Figure out, I should say, on the macaroni and cheese, however many boxes you'd normally cook for your family if you were just making them macaroni and cheese in general. And use the same ratio of hamburger. We have done a whole 5-pack of macaroni and cheese if we really needed to stretch. and still use this half a pound of hamburger, but we just kept breaking it up really small. And we have done down to 1 or 2 boxes, and you just get more hamburger. So either way, whether you're feeding a few people or a lot of people, it's a pretty frugal, easy meal and pretty good tasting. All right, I got some frozen broccoli for just my husband and I eating this. We are going to do about a third of a bag. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and cook this vegetable immediately. If it happens to get done before we're ready to eat, then I will just shut the burner off and put a cover over it and let it set in the hot water and then drain it right before we eat. Okay. I'm going to turn that on 8. Yes, I am. You want to say hi to everybody? You want me to bring the camera in? Okay. All right, and I'm going to put some toast on this pan, and we can do either toast in the toaster oven or in the big oven. And tonight I'm going to do it in the big oven because it is still cold here and I am freezing tonight and I refuse to start the pellet stove. This will warm it up a little bit in here. On this toast, I literally use whatever is in my bread box that needs to be used up. I got a couple of hamburger buns left from last year. We want to use those before they spoil. And then I have some of the whole wheat bread still that I bought myself from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to put a slice of that on there for me because I prefer whole wheat bread over white bread. I find that white bread just kind of makes me feel like I've eaten nothing, or sometimes it gives me like the crawls. It just, it just turns to pure sugar, so I prefer whole grain bread. This is a new product that I tried. I had a coupon for it a couple of weeks ago, and I used to like the Country Crock spreadable margarine, but my husband has developed a sudden palm oil and coconut oil allergy. And so I had a coupon for this, and I thought, oh, sea salt butter with olive oil spreadable. I'm going to give that a try. This is a hit. He's not allergic. It tastes wonderful, but it's handy to have it spreadable, whereas the real butter is never spreadable, and then it's okay if I put it in a butter dish and have it out on the counter through the winter so that we can spread it, but then when the heat comes, real butter will spoil. So this has been my solution, and I've consistently been able to find a coupon on this, so it really hasn't been all that bad in price, and it's lasted us one of these like a couple of weeks. Okay, there's the toast. You can put a little garlic powder on here if you want. My husband just likes it plain like this. That butter is so delicious. I'm popping it in a 350-degree oven, and it should be done when the rest is done. Okay, my water is boiling. This is such a quick supper. Okay, once that comes back up to a boil, we're going to cook that 7 minutes, but we're going to let it come back up to a boil first. Okay, now in my hamburger pan here, I am going to add 4 tablespoons of butter for the 3 boxes of macaroni and cheese. Now, if you're using less macaroni and cheese, make sure you adjust your butter amount and your milk amount. You don't want to have it super, super greasy. And my hamburger was very lean hamburger. You can see there's no fat there. If you have a lot of grease, either drain your hamburger or cut back on your butter. Okay. We're going to just let that butter melt. I'm going to turn my burner on 2 at this point. Okay, 7 minutes on that macaroni. It's come to a boil. Let me show you. I set the timer. That way I don't have to keep trying it and getting it overdone or underdone. Let's give it a little stir. I found this antique canning jar on my property, so I love it. I've been using it as a spoon rest when I cook. Okay, back over here to the hamburger. Okay. It's doing pretty good. I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of milk. Once again, that's for 3 boxes of macaroni and cheese. Adjust the recipe as you need to. And then I'm going to put my cheese packets for my macaroni and cheese right in there. Okay, so I'm still not getting a lot of comments from most of you that are watching. And so I guess I'm going to say, leave me a comment telling me what your favorite pasta dish is. Okay, so what we are looking to do here is we're going to just simmer this onto, make sure the clumps are mixed out, and we are going to actually let this thicken before we put it over the macaroni. And while that's doing that, I'll talk to you about what I'm cooking the pasta in. This pot my husband bought me many years ago at Christmas time, and he got it into Walmart. And at the time, I think he said he spent like maybe $30 on it. And I have always used just these silver kettles like this because I'm just a basic cook and I'm generally not into new style things. But he thought that this would make my life really nice and easy because it's Teflon on the inside, so it wipes out, easier to clean up. And then the fun part is the lid has a strainer already on it, so he loved the idea of this because I could strain it and not have a colander to wash. It's just the lid, and that just snaps right on, and it makes it so easy to drain. And I actually ended up loving this. Like, he said to me, hey, I know you're not into new stuff. If you don't like the looks of this, we'll return it. And I was like, I'll give it a try. And because I knew he was real excited about it, even though I never would have purchased it myself. And I actually love it. Like, every time I'm cooking pasta, I reach for that pot. It just makes it so nice and easy. It was a beautiful gift, a very loving gesture, and a wonderful idea that he had. Okay, see, my broccoli is boiling, and it's turned this fabulous color. And I'm going to go ahead and just shut that off, and then I will drain it right before we eat. The toast is looking good. My husband's telling a story to my son right now about the birds this morning, and I saw them doing the same thing when I got up. He said when he got up to start his truck to go to work, that my songbirds that I like to watch were sitting on the railing of the steps, and they were eating moss off the outside of the house. And when I got up, they were doing the exact same thing, and I had all these beautiful songbirds out there just sitting in a row on the railing waiting for their turn to go over and eat a moth off the side of the house. It's kind of morbid, but it was so pretty to see the birds just sitting there, all the different kinds. Okay, that's my timer. And I'm going to drain that, and I will be right back. Okay. See how, let me see if I can get you closer to this. I'm not the best camera person. I'm hoping to get better, but can you see how it's starting to get a little bit thicker here? I'm going to give that a few more minutes yet. I'll drain my broccoli and we'll wait for this just a few more minutes. Okay, here we go. See how nice and thick this is? Okay, we're going to pour that right over the macaroni. Okay, I got to get you up higher here so you can see. All right, there we go. Here we go. Now, when I fix my plate, I put my broccoli right on top of this, but my husband likes his on the side. Good night, Jacob. Love you. All right. And I just stir it in. Okay, can you see what this looks like? Of course, the steam makes it awfully hard. This is delicious. Let me fix the plates. Okay, so I wanted to show you what I'm doing with these leftovers. My husband gets very tired of taking sandwiches in his lunch, and he has to have finger foods because he drives a log truck and he runs center mount crane, and he does not take any breaks and he does not take any time off at lunch. So he needs foods that he can eat and continue to work. So we came up with this idea because he used to really enjoy taking this in his lunch, and now he's not able to because of doing both things. So I take the leftover macaroni and cheese with hamburger and I crack an egg and stir it up really well. And this is room temperature. I wouldn't want to crack an egg in there if it was still warm because it would cook the egg. So this is room temperature. This just helps hold the macaroni together. You'll see. Oh, I need to put the oven on 350. Okay, to that, I am just adding some Parmesan cheese. Oh, I don't know. Between a quarter and a third of a cup. Then I am also going to add some more pepper. And another sprinkle of the seasoning salt. All right, stirring that up really well. Okay, now I have the square baking pan that I have greased, and I'm going to put all of that into there. All right, next I am going to take the back of my spoon and I'm going to pack that all in there super tight as I can possibly pack it. Okay, now I'm going to take some shredded cheese. Use whatever you have. I've got this Mexican. If you eat a lot of cheese, which my family does, this one's a pretty good buy in comparison to the 8-ounce packages of Kraft cheese. It's almost like getting a package free when you get this bigger size. And I am going to put a decent amount of that all over the top. Now, if this was just plain leftover macaroni and cheese, whether it was boxed or homemade or whatever, and it didn't have the hamburger in it, I've been known to put a layer of pepperoni in between. I've been known to put some cooked bacon in there. Get creative with it. The idea is just to get this into squares that can be cut, that will hold their shape, and I can just put them into a baggie and they will hold their shape, and he can just eat that right straight from the baggie without needing a fork. All right, I'll show you this when it's done. I'm going to put it in the oven. There's no set time on this. I start to smell it, and then the top looks a little brown, and it looks like, it's going to hold its shape, and then I call it done. While that casserole is baking off, I am going to make myself a cup of tea and sit down with my feet up and have a little bit of a rest. So I am using for my tea the Lipton, and I'm going to put it in the microwave 2 minutes, and then I'll show you what I'm adding to it after. All right, my tea's out of the microwave. I've removed the tea bag, and I have got some of this sweetened almond vanilla flavored milk from the Dollar Tree. I love this in plain tea or plain unflavored coffee. If I drink flavored coffee, then I generally put a little bit of canned milk in it or a little bit of powdered milk. But this really gives a nice little flavor to plain coffee and plain tea. Hi everyone. So while I'm sitting here with my feet up, I figured I might as well talk to you for a minute. I'm sorry I look so crumpled and such a mess. It has been a long day. I got my local newspaper, the Lincoln News, and Corrie ten Boom, not I, but Christ. Have any of you ever read her life story? Does anybody know anything about Corrie ten Boom? Her life was amazing. And one of my friends from the church that Jacob has been preaching in, she had no idea that I had gone to a women's conference and they had mentioned this lady, and I couldn't even remember her name, but they had given a description of her and told a little bit of her story. And then my birthday came, and my friend from this church went through her books and found these books from I think it was the 70s and early 80s, and she started giving me one at a time on my birthday. And then right after that, I had ordered our homeschool curriculum, and we had some novels that we needed to read. And one of the novels was Corrie ten Boom's life story. So first, God gives me some information on her in a ladies' conference, and I don't remember her name, and I have not seen her. I just have a description. Then my friend from church gives me a different devotional. This wasn't the one on my birthday. Then the homeschool curriculum has scheduled for us to read her life story. Then my next birthday, I got this book from my friend. I will give you the short version of her story, but look her up. I believe there's videos on YouTube that tell more about her, and it's just unbelievable. She was a watchmaker, and I do not remember if it was Denmark or what country she was in. And her family were Christians, and during World War II, her and her family hid Jewish people in their homes, and they actually got caught for it and put in concentration camps. And wow, I can't even tell you how powerful that story was. It was like, when I got done reading it, I was like, wow, like, where am I at in my relationship with God? Like, if he asked me to do what Corrie ten Boom did, would I actually be able to do it? Like, could I pull out of me what I need in order to do something that great? But not I, but Christ. That's the answer to that question. Could I? No. But Christ in me, yes. So there is the finished casserole. Okay, let's get this cut off. It's still a little bit warm. The cooler it gets, the better it will hold its shape. Here comes Sloopy. She loves this. And then I just loosen around the edges a little bit with a knife. So what I do is, like, I will give him probably 3 of these in his lunch, and then the other 3 I will put into the freezer for a different day for his lunch, and I'll just plan ahead and take them out earlier in the day. But as you can see, it makes a pretty good little square that will hold together, and like I say, the colder it gets, the better it will hold together. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.